We're always teaching ourselves something or the other. What are we teaching ourselves? You see, the way we behave when we are in a particular situation, that's your clue as to how you are teaching yourself to respond. And we always have to look to polarity sometimes, because I say we can't separate them, they work together. But we look at polarity. We get a situation, and where are you on that thing? Are you where you want to be? Or are you seeing where you would like to be and where you currently are? So when we see that, that decides what behavior you will do. And decision to make, that decision you make that dictates your behavior, is it something that you want to do or not? We are always training ourselves. So if you find yourself in a situation and you're like, oh, you look back on it and you say, shoot, I didn't want to behave that way. Now, that is a good indicator. And it says to you, if you don't like what you just did there, what would you like to do instead? We are always in a position because we're always learning and we're always teaching. We're learning who we are by the actions that we do. And that's how we get to decide to say, hey, is that what you want to do, or would you like something different? So we're never in a position where we always have to remain the same. If you examine your life by way of the actions and the behaviors that you do, you'll begin to see what you're teaching yourself. And that's why I say there isn't any judgment. Do you like the behavior or do you not? If you like the behavior, carry on. If you do not like the behavior has now become a problem. Every problem has the seed of a solution in it. So when you say, I don't like this behavior that I do, sometimes we don't always need to know why that behavior exists. You just need to know if you want it there or not. Because when you decide that you don't want it there anymore, now you begin to look at it by way of polarity and say, I'm here now. You must acknowledge. You must acknowledge the problem. Only when you acknowledge the existence of the problem do you know what direction to take to fix it. And it always comes down to you're looking at that problem. You're the one that's going to have to fix it. The problem is not there because you were bad. It's just part of survival. We form these things, these habits, by way of survival. That's how the body functions. But as Paul says in the scripture, when I became a man, I put away childish things. This is why you must question the self. You look at the behavior, you look at how you respond, and you make a decision. Do I want to keep this behavior? That's what you do. And if you say, well, served me well in the past, I suppose, but I no longer need that. I don't want to argue anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to feel downtrodden anymore. And you see, sometimes that can be challenging because we've been doing it for so long. It's become ingrained. The habit has been set down. But here's the beauty of habits, they're meant to be created. So when you see the thing that you're not a fan of, question it and look at it. Don't judge it and don't be afraid of it. Oh no, what if I can't change? None of that. We already know how to change. The habit is a behavior, a thought, or an action that you do consistently. That's a habit. So if you want to make new behaviors, if you say, look, I fly off the handle way too easily. I don't want to do that anymore. What do you want to do instead? These are the things you're teaching yourself by way of your actions and the constant observation and vigilance. And as I say, some of these things are a little sticky because they're hidden, right? They're hidden, yet they're obvious. They're hidden because you've been doing them for so long, but they're obvious when they make themselves known. When you say, why do I keep doing that? That is the first step to awareness of self. Why do I behave like that? That's what it is. That's where it comes from. So then what are you teaching yourself? Are you teaching yourself, you know what? I'm going to keep reacting the same way every time. I don't care. But then you know by way of causation, cause and effect. If you know the cause, you can predict the effect. So if you keep behaving in the same way, well, there aren't any surprises, are they? You will get the exact same result. Cause and effect. Until you change the cause. What is the cause? This is what we're teaching ourselves. The thought. And hear me when I say this, right? I'm not belittling or frowning upon your life. Sometimes we go through things in this life that beat us down to a bloody pulp, okay? And sometimes we don't feel like even getting up from that. You're like, every time I get up, I get beat down again. Every time. So what's the point of getting up? The point of getting up is this. Even if you get up for 30 seconds, the more 30 seconds that you can get up, you begin to change the trajectory. Then you're not down there all the time. That's what I'm saying to you. I understand that some of these habits that we have, speaking to the choir this morning, some of these things that we have, these behaviors, are so ingrained within us that we feel overwhelmed and hopeless by them. But the way of the law is this. If you consistently polarize yourself for 30 seconds in the new direction, you are building momentum to stay in that new direction. How do you know it works? Because you've spent all this other time polarized in the opposite direction, and that's why it feels so heavy and hard to escape from. You're doing the same thing. Only difference is you've changed the direction that you want to be polarized in. And it can take a lot of effort to do that. But we must persist in that effort. We must. The only reason why it doesn't take any effort to stay in the old way is because we've been doing the old way for such a long time. That's why it doesn't take any effort anymore. It's become ingrained now. So the effort required to point yourself in the new direction. And you know what keeps you pointing yourself in that direction? Neville Goddard put it best. The desire to change must be stronger than the desire to remain the same. Even if it is that 30 seconds of, I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to breathe, okay? It hurts like hell, but I'm just going to breathe right here, right now. Because what you're teaching yourself, what you're teaching your body is, I don't like that, and I would prefer this. But you've got to show it what you prefer. That's why that 30 seconds is so important, even though it feels like climbing Mount Everest without extra oxygen. Even though it feels like you're coming up from the bottom of the ocean and that nitrogen is there, you're going to get the bends, even though it feels like that. Take that 30 seconds to just breathe and begin to feel a little bit of relief in your body, just a little. Because now what you're doing is you're literally training your body. You're saying, we've always felt that way, but I don't like it anymore. I want to feel like this now. And you show it for that 30 seconds. And every time you begin to feel the old way, go back and do the 30 seconds again. Shoot, if you can't do 30 seconds, you can do 5 seconds. Do 5 seconds. Because the point is, the more consistently you show the body that 5 seconds, you know what it's going to do to help you? Your body will say, oh, so you want to do this new thing? Okay. And it will become easier. Instead of 5 seconds, you can do it for 7 seconds. Instead of 7 seconds, you can do it for 10. Right? But it is, I learned something. I learned something over the weekend. I learned the true difference between the sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is, oh, get well. Oh, you can do it. But empathy has understanding in it. The understanding that what that person is going through, what they're dealing with, to them, it is such a challenge. And the empathy comes alongside and says, I understand that this is a challenge, so I'm going to sit here for a moment with you. I'm going to acknowledge what you're feeling. That's what I learned this weekend. And so when I say to you today, what are you teaching yourself? That's where I'm coming from. Because sometimes I understand that things can be very hard. But when you look around outside in the world and you allow that to add to what you're feeling, because there's nothing worse than looking out and saying, oh my God, I can't fix that. No, you can't fix that out there. That's the culmination of 8 billion people. But what you can fix is the individual. And here's the thing. I don't like the word fix because you're not broken. You're not broken. You just have a habit. And so the encouragement today is this. Recognize what you are teaching yourself. Your behavior will show you. If you keep doing the same action over and over again, that is your cue. And so now you're faced with a decision. It doesn't matter how hard you think it is to change. The desire to change is what is required. Because how do you know? How can you move yourself? The desire moves you by way of polarity. Look at it again. And as I say, you can't break them apart. So let's begin at the beginning. Mentalism, when you look at that thought that you are persistently having, persistently, you're having it. As within, so without. And so that particular thought has its own way of moving, its own vibration, its own frequency. And so the way it moves shows you in polarity where you are. It shows you where you are. And so when you look at where you would like to be, now you see something has to change. It is only the thought that has to change. And that's why I say just change that thought for 30 seconds. Because now what you're doing, you're teaching your body, I used to be like that. I don't like it, but here's what I want to be like. Repetition. Every time you say to the puppy, sit, you have to push on its bum so it sits down. And then when it obeys you, you give it a treat. So that the next time your puppy hears the vibration of sit, it sits. But you've got to do it how many times? That's right. So we cannot give up on ourselves. We can't give up on ourselves, but we must observe the self. Observe yourself so that you can see what you're teaching yourself. That is one of the most important things, because when we do it, right? If you look around you and you say, oh, my space is so messy, I feel so overwhelmed by it. Confucius always said, do things when they're little, because then they're easy. So if you only have a pair of socks on the floor, that is easier to pick up than a pair of socks, the underwear, the pants, the shirt, the towels. You see? So what are you training yourself to do? You train yourself that, you know what? I put my dirty things in the hamper. And you do it. Even though you may feel tired and you don't want to get up and do it, train yourself to do it. You do it every time, because it's the little thing that has the cumulative effect. Why? Really, in honesty, you only ever do one thing at a time, do you not? Even if you hop with both feet, you're still taking that one hopped step forward, one thing at a time. So when you start to do the new behavior, the new way you're going to train yourself to be, if you say, listen, by 3 o'clock, that kitchen got to be tidy, because why? It sucks when you come home and you've got to have supper done, but the dishes need to be cleaned. So finish the task from the night before so that you can start fresh in the morning. Well, that seems so trivial, is it? It is all in the little things, because if you're faithful to do the little things in your life, you'll be faithful to do the big things. Why? Because you're faithful. Not because of the size of the thing, but the discipline of the person. So that is what the training of the self is. What are you teaching yourself? That is discipline. Not to be confused with, I'm going to take away your things. You're on a timeout. That is not discipline. That is punishment. When you hear in the scripture to make disciples of all men, it doesn't mean to walk around beating people up. What it means is to teach others. That is discipline. Having the ability to do a task until it is completed every time, in spite of how one may feel. So today, be cognizant of what you are teaching yourself. Just pay attention to you, and you catch yourself, but you don't judge yourself. You look at it and you go, oh, snap. You know what? I'm learning a new way to be. So I don't like that. Here's the new behavior instead. I don't like that. This is the new behavior. You go back to the, oh, no, this is the new. Every time. Even if you do it, as I say, for 30 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, the point is you are learning and practicing a new way to be. And you cannot stop being the new way, because if you stop being the new way, you must be something. So you go back to being what is most familiar, the old way. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the people in the space today, shall we? Twitter, Luke, Meep, I see you, and Solo, I see you as well. Let's see who's on Fanbase, because that was Twitter. Matthias, Jamea, Yolanda, Shanice, Malik, Summer Rose, Elle, My Melanin, and Zola. Welcome to the space, everybody, on Fanbase. Let's see who's here in YouTube. For the ones in the chat who've made themselves known: The Better Man, Asonia, David, Queen Morad, Ms. M, Synovia, Cyber. I see you all. And for the ones who have not made themselves known, welcome. And for all the ones who are going to catch it on the replay, welcome to you also. So today's message again, what are you teaching yourself? We are teaching ourselves by way of our behavior. The behavior that you do over and over and over again the same way becomes the way that you live your life. That's what Alan Watts tells us. You'll know a man by his habits, right? So if there is something at any given time that you do not, I don't want to say you don't like, but something you're dissatisfied with, notice how the behavior, right, separate the two things, the person and the behavior. The person learned the behavior. The person is not the behavior. So when this is why you can say to yourself, I don't like that behavior that I do, as opposed to I don't like me, right? The behavior is the observation. You can always change the behavior. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just you learned to do a particular thing. So you see, because sometimes we get caught up in not liking ourselves because we associate ourselves with our behavior because we're the ones doing the behavior, but see it for what it is. You are doing something. You are not the thing. You're the one doing the thing. So if you don't like the thing, change the thing that you're doing. As opposed to, I hate my life. No, there are things in your life that you're doing that you don't like. Not the life itself, just the thing. That's why we must catch what we teach ourselves. Because so many times it becomes easy to ball yourself up into one with the thing that you're doing and think you're the thing. You're not the thing, you're the one doing the thing. So remember that today and practice what you want to become. Practice the activity that you want to do and become good at. You're the one doing it. You want to be real good at it? Then practice. You don't want to do it anymore? Do a new thing. But again, I understand the challenge of doing. I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. I have things in my life and they keep cropping up. Not at the same time, thank goodness. The thing that needs to be dealt with will show itself. And then you examine it and you go, you know what? My self worth, I'm still struggling with that. Okay. Every problem has the seed of a solution in it. What is that thing? The opinion of someone else was so powerful in my young mind that I believed that I was worthless? Oh, okay. I'm valuable. I'm valuable. Why am I valuable? I'm here, for one. And two, the law says that I'm valuable. Well, how does the law say I'm valuable? Because I am here. Whether I am here in body or in spirit, I am here. So I am valuable. I need no more validation than that. Well, let me prove to myself how valuable I am. What am I good at? Well, I don't know what I'm good at. These are the things you say to yourself. This is how you speak to yourself. Because if you think about it, you are the same person. So if you sit and say, I have nothing to offer, the more you say that to yourself, we all know as within, so without, right? Because as long as you're strongly polarized with, I have nothing to offer, you won't have anything to offer. So if you know that it works that way, if you can see the evidence before you that says you have nothing to offer, because that's what happens. You begin to see the evidence because as within, so without. So the more you keep saying, I have nothing to offer, and you can say, you see, I have nothing to offer, you've just confirmed what you believe of yourself. So if you confirm what you believe of yourself, what if you experimented with a new way? What if you said, you know what? I do have value. I am worthwhile. Show me where I'm worthwhile. Let me see for myself. You look in the mirror. Where are you worthwhile? What are you good at? And you talk to yourself in the mirror. You know why? Because it is inevitable that what is within must be shown on the outside. Not because you have to believe it, but you have the evidence of it before you at all times. You can see what's exactly in somebody's garden, you know what they planted. So if you can see it there, because that is law, as within, so without. Corn, hey, you get corn. So if you have that low way you see yourself within you, well, then you have to reap it. If it works for corn, it works for you because you are here with the corn, my friends. So, the same way, if you can speak to yourself negatively, you can speak to yourself positively. Why? Because you're speaking to yourself either way. So, make it a good one. That's why I tell you the law is ever before you. So, what are you training yourself to do and to behave like? If you can say, listen, I can count 28 days for that lunar cycle. I know it's coming. Even though it might be a cloudy night, I know it's coming. So for myself, I want to change. I'm going to do this thing for 28 days because I've got to have a change to match the moon. The moon changes, I change because we both have rhythm. Use the law. Teach yourself by way of law. Notice how you teach, not punish yourself. Like I said, even though it may be a challenge, you didn't just wake up today and go, I hate my existence. You didn't do that. That took time. That took inner conversation to get you there. So now realize that it will take inner conversation to go in the other direction. That's why I tell you it's not really a duality. There's not two of you moving between poles. One of you is moving from one side to the other. That's what's moving. So today, be emboldened to know that you are always learning and you are always teaching. You, especially. You're always learning and you're always teaching. Can you imagine if your teacher at school would come alongside you and say, oh, I see your struggle. Here, let me break it down. She pulls up a chair, she sits down and she erases what you did. And she says, okay, do it. Show me how you're doing it and I'll help you. When I see the error, I'll show it to you right away. As opposed to, catch up with the rest of the class. You see, when you take the time to observe the self and learn from yourself what you're doing, you will grow. And you will grow in a most beautiful way. We are always learning and we are always growing. Why? Because nothing stands still. Everything vibrates, everything moves. So you cannot remain the same. That is law. A seed must eventually become fruit or vegetable. The fruit is just the offspring that it bears then. So everything must become. It is always moving. So you cannot ever remain the same. So even when you say, I haven't changed, I'm still the same old, no, you're not. You have changed. The question is, did you change in a desirable way that you would like? But we are always changing because we must. And we change by way of what we learn and teach ourselves. So that is what I will say to you today because you are beautiful. And even though you may not see it, even though you may not see your beauty, you need to know that you are. Oh, please, Angela, you're just blowing smoke up the rear today. No, I'm telling you fact. How do I know you're beautiful? Look at the law. It is perfection. You came from that law. The law cannot be order and create chaos. It cannot be beauty and create ugly. Why? Because as within it, so without. So don't take my word for it. It is law. It doesn't matter if somebody in your world said, oh my God, you're like ill. It doesn't matter if somebody said that to you. They can only speak to you from where they are at, as within, so without. This is why when someone has something to say to you, depending on what it is, you know exactly where they're coming from. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So that's why you don't take on necessarily what someone has to say to you, especially if it's vile in nature. That's how they see themselves. So they have to speak from there. So remember that. The way you speak to yourself, that's where you have to live from. It is law. But that's the beauty of your eyes, right? They show you yourself. Your eyes show you yourself. And so when you see yourself, you can either marvel at the beauty of what you have within you, or you can cringe at the not so beautiful within. But you can always change. That's why you can always change. Now, is that not a beautiful thing? You don't have to remain the same. You don't have to have the same attitude. You can change it. And how do you change? By looking at what you currently have and deciding what you would like instead. That is how we teach and learn. That's how we do it. That's how we blossom. Because you're a seed in the garden of life. That's what you are. You're a seed in the garden of life. And sooner or later, you must bear fruit. And the fruit that you bear is what is contained within you. So if you don't like what you see, you are in a position to change it. It is not going to overwhelm you. It is a privilege to change it. Think about that. You come from the gym and you take a whiff of your armpits and you're like, ooh, Lord. You don't like that, do you? No, so what do? You bathe. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. So when you look in the mirror, when you look into that mirror on a daily basis, do not hate your reflection. It is a reflection. Breaking the mirror will do nothing. But if you look into that mirror and you say, you know what? I'm always learning and I'm always changing and it's easy for me. That's all you got to start with. And you, honestly, the way will open and show you what needs to be done. You'll see it. So long as you know, I don't want to be that, I want to be this, and you're in that direction of what you want to be and what you want to do, the way shows itself. It always does, it always has, and it always will. Because it is the law. What are those laws? Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, and gender. Those are the laws or the principles that govern every single created thing. Whether it be the sun, the moon, the stars, the galaxies, They are all governed by those principles, including you, including myself. So we don't get mad at ourselves. We don't hate ourselves. We don't judge ourselves. We observe, and we learn so that we can teach ourselves the new way to be. The more you teach yourself that new way, that new action, like if you're learning how to do planks, shoot, you can hold yourself up for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So do you get up tomorrow and go, I can only do 3 seconds, so I'm done. I'm not good at doing planks. No. Every day that you do the plank, you get a little stronger at it. So every day you do the new action, you get a little stronger at it. It is consistency and persistence that will facilitate a successful change in your life. Not because I say so, but you are living proof of it. Well, we all learn to read and write and mathematics and walk and talk. You're living proof that if you are consistent and persistent in your consistency, you will develop something. Hmm, that's it. That's what I will leave you with on such a beautiful day. It's a holiday here for us. Family Day. Mm, well, it's Friends Day. Anybody you consider family. That's what it is.
That's better than over here, Angela. It's actually President's Day over here.
Oh, it's President's
Yeah.
Day. Oh, snap. We don't have a president. We have a prime minister. Mm, we won't go there, but it's all good. you know?
Well, that's what I say about the presidency. Like, okay, President's Day, but you will, okay, right. I'd rather have the family day. Exactly.
Right?
Okay. Can
Will
I
you?
have the family day?
Yes.
I halfway will take off for the family day. I ain't taking off
Yes.
for the President's Day. I don't
Go
even
and
know
do
the
something.
presidents.
Yes.
That part.
Go and you do. You see? You see something that you deem undesirable, do something that is desirable. You incorporate this time with your family. See, or the close friends that you have. So instead of, you know what I mean? You see what you don't like and you go with, I would prefer to do that with my family today. Then you do that. You go for a walk, you go to the park, you go out and enjoy each other's company because it is a beautiful thing when you have it. And if, like I say, if you've got those close friends, go and be with them and laugh and enjoy the existence. That is what we do, right? See, you guys just practiced it right there. We went in polarity, we said from to. See how easy that was? Well, we can do it in every other facet of our lives. Yes, we can. And I encourage you to practice and do it. The essence, goody, Miss Ravioli. I see y'all's Empress Ella. Welcome, my sweet darling. I've missed you. Ultra, it's good to see you too, my dear darling. Yeah. Anywho, that is what I will leave you with. Today is the what? The 20th? In 4 days, we have the workshop on forgiveness. You know you want to be at that. So if you are a patron, if you are a member on YouTube, that is part of your membership to be there. If you're not, oh, fan base as well. Actually, I can't forget y'all. You're looking at me. But if you're not a member, it is $9. The link, I believe, is in the community tab on my YouTube channel. Or you can DM me or email me. You have that information. And let's do forgiveness, y'all. Not in the traditional sense that we hear about all the time, but by way of law. Because that is what will make forgiveness a piece of cake. Seriously, it'll make it a piece of cake. Then you actually understand forgiveness by way of law. So come ready for that. Because I'm ready. I'm fired up for that class. And then on the 24th, we have testimonials. So if you want to be a part of testimonials, you'll be right here live with me to share your testimony in your own voice. If you want to be on camera, let me know. That's fine. We could listen, we make it work around here. But if you are a little shy and you don't want to, you can tell me your testimonial and I will share it for you and I'm going to shout you out. Right? That's what we can do. So I wanted to encourage you with those things today. Let us go forth and observe ourselves. And just like we said, oh, we don't want President's Day, but we'd rather have Family Day. Well, then it is Family Day, is it not? Because then that's what you've decided it was going to be, and that's what you'll do. So you took yourself from where you didn't want to be to where you wanted to be. That is the beauty and the ease of the law if we would but apply it. Imanon, I didn't forget you. I saw you go up in the chat. I saw you, baby. So thank you all for being here. I love you. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends what the law has done for you. That's what we do. That's the point of having a testimony. You know? I love you all. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. And if you want to catch the last tidbit of these goody treats, we're usually here on YouTube for another couple minutes. So you can see me over there at Positively Angela. Much love, Twitter. I'll see you also. You know what? I didn't push any hearts on Twitter today. Let's do that. I love you, Twitter, and I'll see you soon. There you go. Twitter is closed. Fan base. Oh, yeah. Twitter is closed. And then, let's see. You guys are awesome. Pop on over because YouTube is recorded, right? Did I dream that fan base had that option? But hey, we don't know yet. Anyway, I will see y'all's later, fan base. I love you. Much love. Fan base is closed. YouTube, it's us for a moment. It's us for a moment. I do appreciate you all. And I trust that you will be emboldened to implement the law and to practice it every day. Because somebody did ask me that question a while back. I think it was on Reddit. How do I how do I do self-love? And I'm like, how do you do self-love? Hmm. By recognizing that there's nothing wrong with you in the first place. You're just doing an action, right? Being able to appreciate yourself, appreciate your gifts, because there's stuff that you're good at. Appreciate those things. This is all part of self love. You take the time to rest and eat well and go for walks and enjoy the flowers and the birds chirping. That is self love. It is an appreciation. You know, I want us all to just, wow. I love you all and I appreciate you every single time. I think about you. Especially the ones that I know the most, you know. I think about you all the time. Always. I just needed you to know that. And I know that you guys think of me because I get the messages. You guys are awesome. Sal? Yes. It's good to see you, Sal. You can also harness love in your heart if you focus. Indeed, it's that sensation you can feel in your body. That's why we can describe the sensation as the warm and fuzzies. Double A? I see you. Hello. See, it's a good thing I stayed for a little bit longer because then I got to see the rest of you who were here. I see you all. You're at your break time at work. That's awesome because I know you're way ahead in your time zone. It's not morning for you, but much love to you all, my beautiful friends, and thank you for showing up. And as I said before, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Let us grow so that we can bring the law to more people. Because the more people that are practicing the law, the better, the better the world becomes. And that's what we want. Wow, it's 1:20 in the afternoon for you. Yikes. My day is just getting started. Yeah, that's what it is. We just have such a beautiful opportunity. We have a beautiful opportunity before us to use the law. Be encouraged to do so. Please be encouraged to do so. Even though it may feel like a challenge, like, you're like, oh, the cartoons are dragging themselves. Listen, if you can stop dragging and just feel relief for just 5 seconds every day, 5 seconds. I'm going to do this every day for 5 seconds. Did you know that by the end of the week, you will enjoy the feeling of relief and you will do it more? Yes, but you have to start. I won't preach. I won't preach. Oh, and tonight, if you are available, I am over at Lance Scurv, that YouTube channel. I'm over there. I'm over there at 6 p.m. Well, wait, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 6 p.m. for me, Mountain Standard Time, but I'm over there. And tonight, the Bible story is Moses and the Red Sea, right? That story, we're going to learn the law from that Bible story. So you see, we can't cringe when we hear the Bible. You can't clutch your pearls because the law is everywhere. The law is everywhere. And if we would look into the Bible, we'd see the law. And if we see the law, we can better apply it, right? Because get all the examples you can get so that you're more equipped with all those different strategies as arrows in your quiver to try. Always the law. You catch yourself like, oh, and you autocorrect. That is why every single holy book has the very essence of the law within it. The law is inescapable. You wouldn't want to escape it anyway, right? Anywho, I'll catch y'all later. And I'll be on camera for that because I got to go and set up over there. It's just early morning. We don't need to scare you. We don't need that, right? So, parting is such sweet sorrow. I know I hate leaving you because I do love your company, but I got to go record the nighttime meditation so that that can be up and ready for you guys later tonight. Yeah, so I'll see you. Much love, everybody. Much, much love.